Hey, folks, welcome to another episode of Cutter One. I am your host, Jay Just Jay, your resident maker of trouble and your resident culture warrior. I hope you are all doing well today. I saw this article. I figured I'd share it with you guys, and let's just dive right into it. All right, so here it says Susan Sarandon issues a similar warning against growing political divisions as Gina Carano faces no calls for cancellation. Interesting. And this one's coming to us from Bounding Into Comics. So it says, like Gina Carano before her, storied actress Susan Sarandon recently shared a post evoking the history of the bad guys from World War II to caution against the growing political divisions in America. But unlike Carano, Sarandon has faced no collective cancellation campaign nor any accusations of bigotry over her comparison. Sarandon, who is currently set to portray the villainous Victoria Cord in DC's upcoming Blue Beetle film, offered her warning on October 24th via her personal Twitter account. There, she shared a poem, itself originally posted by Instagram user at Quentin.Quarantino, which starkly opens, "It didn't start with gas chambers." And there you see the actual post that Susan Sarandon made, and you can see it's the whole poem there. It says, it started with one party controlling the media. The poem continues. One party controlling the message. One party deciding what is truth. One party censoring speech and silencing opposition. One party dividing citizens into us and them and calling on their supporters to harass them. It concludes, it started when good people turned a blind eye and let it happen. Um, as noted above, save for the actual contents of the shared post, the elements of Sarandon's post are near identical to those that surrounded Carano's. Taking to her own Instagram in February 2021, Carano made use of the platform's story feature, which auto-deletes a given post after 24 hours, to share a post from at Warrior Priest Gym Podcast to her own followers. And there you see Gina's. I'm only scrolling fast because some viewers may be a little bit disturbed by the imagery. Um, Featuring a photograph of a child with a blunt object chasing a woman in undress during the Lviv pogroms of 1941, at Warrior Gym podcast post asserted, quote, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by the bad guy soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where bad guy soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. The post continued. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Yet, despite sharing such similar sentiments by such similar means, no one has called for the Thelma and Louise star to be raked over the coals for some sort of perceived bigoted transgression. While Carano's post sparked an outrage fire, which eventually led to her being fired from her role on The Mandalorian as Navarro Marshal and former Alliance fighter Cara Dune, no one seems to have given even a glimpse of major attention to Sarandon's. In fact, not only are the majority of replies and, quote, retweets of Sarandon's post simply arguing over which party they believe the actress was calling out, but the legacy media has outright ignored the sort of content they once claimed to feel so strongly offended by. None of the usual suspects are chiming in to accuse Sarandon of anti Semitism. There are no think pieces about how her continued presence in Hollywood will lead to the decline of democracy. Self aggrandizing Twitter blue check marks aren't attempting to spout nonsense on the matter for clout. Instead, as of this writing, Google News tabs, arguably the search engine most likely to highlight any such neoliberal screeching, returns exactly one story concerning Sarandon's post. And there you see it from Newsweek. Um, and notably, the story, as published by Newsweek, doesn't even focus on riling up outrage towards the actress. Instead, it chooses to shine a light on the situation's hypocrisy, covering the entire situation from the angle of Disney fans slam Susan Sarandon for posting same quote as fired Gina Carano. Perhaps the difference in coverage is due to the perception in their political affiliations, as while Carano has become more of a conservative figure, Sarandon has always been regarded as a staunch liberal. Oh, who are we kidding? Of course it is. Yes, I would have to agree with them. They are right about that. Um, yeah, let me know what you think. Personally, I hate that. I hate that double standard, that hypocrisy that we're seeing come out of Hollywood almost on a daily basis, where it doesn't matter if you're offending um, certain people, certain groups, and you know, they just don't care. But if you turn the tables and suddenly other groups or other people are offended, then it's like the end of the world, and we need to make sure that you are driven from society so that you can do nothing but live in a cave like Gollum. Um, Personally, I don't go in for that. I'm a realist here on this channel. I'm always going to be a realist, and I know at some point I'm going to say things that people who watch this, you know, my YouTube channel are not going to agree with. They're not going to like, and they may even get offended by. And you know, I'm sorry, but that's the reality of the world we live in. I'm a realist. I deal in truth and facts. I don't care about people's fifis. So if I ever upset anybody or offend anybody, just know that I'm not doing it intentionally. But I also won't apologize for it, and I won't, you know, backtrack for it. I'm just not going to do that. That's not, if that's the type of channel that you're hoping this is, you're not going to find that here. Again, I won't go out of my way to offend people. I will actually go out of my way to try to not offend people. But at a certain point, you know, it is what it is. So let me know what you think. Do you think it's right that Susan Sarandon can basically post almost the exact same message that Gina Carano did, but Carano got fired for it and sort of, you know, canceled? Um, Whereas Susan Sarandon, nobody's even saying a peep. And I know some people may say, well, it's the imagery associated with it. Um, but I don't know. I think that's sort of a cop out. I think sometimes, you know, to drive home a point, you need to be blunt and you need to be in people's face and you need to make people uncomfortable. Isn't that what AOC stated? Was that, you know, protests and stuff like that are designed to make people uncomfortable so that it gets their attention so that you can bring about change? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Give the video a like if you like the video. And don't forget to share. More importantly, don't forget to subscribe. And I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, peace out.